Matt Lenihan for Boxing Social in association with William Hill, Empire Fight Store. Delighted to be joined by Hosea Burton. Hosea, we're here in the Film Market Centre, Moss Side. Moved over from the Amir Khan gym where you all used to train. How are you feeling coming into this gym? You know, it's got a lot of history. I know it's a special place for Joe, but yeah, you've just been put through your paces. How are you feeling?
Feeling good. We used to train here a long time ago when I was an amateur, in fact, with Joe. So, yeah, I've been here before and a change is as good as a rest. So.
Yeah. Fight's been announced with Ellis Zorro. I believe that's on the Frank Warren card. How are you feeling coming into this fight? Ellis is coming in undefeated. Where do you see the advantages in this fight and how do you win?
How do I win? I just turn up and be me. Ellis is a good fighter, but it's way too soon for him in his career to fight me. Mm-hmm. I just be me. Yeah. The best me beats the best him all day, every day.
You think they've sort of bitten off more they can chew when they're having you as an opponent? You think they've looked and thought, maybe we're catching you at the right time, and you're there thinking, look, this isn't the right time?
Right. For one, I don't think Ellis Zorro's picked me. I think the Warrens has said, you're fighting Burton. Yeah. This is a make-or-break fight for him. If he can beat me, he's going on to do good things. If he can't, well then, you know, I still think it's too soon for him to beat me. Yeah. He cannot beat me at the moment. And I think it's a fight that he's been made of, not offered.
What do you make of him as a fighter? Do you rate his skills? Have you just seen a lot of weaknesses? What do you make of him as a fighter?
He's not a bad fighter. He can box. He can punch a bit. He looks nice and sharp. Yeah, I can't grab him and say he's crap, but because he's not. But can he beat me? No, he can't.
Is it a case of when you get to this level? Obviously, you've been in there. You've had some big fights. Do you believe that it's just your experience and the people who you've sparred with and the years you've put into this game that just accounts for too much when you're going against someone like Ellis?
Well, that does mean a lot. But even if I never had all this experience and I never had all these big fights, me as an amateur and him as an amateur, I'd still beat him. You know, both Rowan officers, I'd still beat him because I've got what it takes to beat him. Yeah. So, yes, all the experience does play into a factor, but take that away and I'm too good of a man for him.
Fighting at this weight now, obviously, since the Dan Aziz loss, you've moved up in weight. Do you feel a lot more comfortable now? Because I think after the Dan Aziz loss, taking nothing away from Dan, he put a great performance on. But do you feel more comfortable in yourself now when you're going into these fights? You've put together a couple of wins. Is everything feeling better?
Right. Yeah, everything's feeling better now, and I'm starting to own my body again. Yeah. But if you watched The Golden Contract, I boxed Bob Adjusef. Yeah. On that night, I could have beat any light heavyweight in Britain, most of them in the world, right? Shortly after that, we prepared again, got ready again. I was going to pick Ricard Blocknick, right? I was going to pick him because we was fighting at York Hall. 2 or 3 days before the fight happened, lockdown kicked in and there was no fights. Yeah. Lockdown kicked in. I was out the gym for 16 months. I went to 16 stone. Right, I could never get the weight back down. I finally made the weight again. Right, we was allowed to start training. We was allowed to start boxing again. I made the weight, but was I any good anymore? No, I could not fight at that weight. I hit the weight. I hit 12.7, but I looked like a bad druggie. Yeah. So I fought him, got beat. I said, right, that's it. Not boxing no more. So I came back, and then my manager phoned up and said, look, I've got you the final eliminator for the British title. Do you want it? I said, who with? Liam Conroy. Now, I've known Liam since the amateur days. Yeah. I said, yeah, why not? So, I had that fight. I won. I think it was round 5. I knocked him out. Yeah. If he doesn't know this, but if he survived round 5, guaranteed he would have beat me and stopped me either round 6, round 7 or round 8 because I was totally spent. I had nothing left. Right? So, I came out the ring. And there was Tom Stoker there, and there was, what's he called now? There was another little fellow there, Lee Eaton.
Oh God, who could forget Lee?
I said, I'm not boxing no more. I said, that's me done. I said, I can't make that weight. I said, I'm moving up. And then I got told, why didn't you get a nutritionist? Blah, blah, blah. So I got a nutritionist. Never done no good. Fought Dan, I got stopped. Yeah. Dan's a good little fighter, but I do believe Dan Aziz shouldn't really be able to beat me. Now, he beat me and flogged me easy, but was that the light heavyweight Hosea Burton? No, it wasn't. Now I'm a big, strong man at cruiserweight, and I can beat any man in Britain. So, Ellis Zorro is just one of them on the list.
If you manage to get past Ellis Zorro, the fights that you could be in are huge. When you look at the division at the minute, when you see the world title fights that are happening, there's some big clashes. I know, just spoke to Jack and he said, look, there's loads of good domestic clashes. How much are you looking forward to getting your teeth into the division? I know you can't, I'm not looking past Ellis when I say this, but you'll have aspirations to kick on after this and look for getting titles and things. Yeah,
well, it's one fight at a time. Listen, I've done this once before. I've looked miles into the future and you forget the step that you've got to take. So I've got to beat Ellis Zorro first, which I'm very confident of doing. Then we'll see what happens then.
Do you feel like this is sort of a new chapter in your career? That sort of Hosea up to the light heavyweight has gone now, and that you're sort of a bit more rejuvenated because you don't have to cut so much, and because you're now at a weight you're comfortable at. Do you feel like this is like a bit of a page turner for you? Yeah,
well, look, I packed in after the Dan Aziz fight. Packed in and said that's it. I've had enough. But then I had a couple of months out and I thought, I've boxed my whole life, sacrificed my whole life for boxing, and I've cheated myself because I knew 2 fights prior to this, I knew I couldn't make light heavyweight no more. But yeah, I still cheated myself because I thought I could do it. And I thought, well, I've spent nearly 25 or 6 years at being a boxer. So anyway, yeah, this is like my last chance saloon. So I'm coming to the gym every day, grateful to come here and train hard, no injuries, and I've got no pressure. I've not got that unbeaten record like Ellis has got, and he's trying his best to protect it. He's got the weight of the world on his shoulder. He's fighting Hosea Burton. You know.
Have you thought about what would have happened if you'd have packed him? What does life away from boxing do for you? What does life look like for you?
Like any other gypsy man does. He goes to work. You know, I've got a wife and kids. I've got to provide for them. So I'll go to work like every other man does, like my brothers and my father and that before me. So,
I want to get your opinion on the fight that didn't happen. You know, I think you were in camp with Tyson, were you? While the Usyk negotiations were apparently happening, not happening. What do you make of it? Everyone sort of seems a bit gutted and right, so we're not seeing undisputed. But how do you see it from the outside looking in? We saw all the back and forth on social media, and then it falls through. Just give me your opinion on the situation. Obviously, I know you're close to that camp.
Right, so Tyson's obviously, everyone knows, my first cousin. He wanted that fight, but I would imagine Usyk wanted that fight as well. So it's not just down to the 2 fighters wanting that fight. Everything else in between has got to fit in as well. So obviously something never fit in, what was meant to, so it just never happened. But I do believe that fight will come off one of the days. And if it does, Tyson's just too big of a man for him. You know, Usyk is great. He's really, really good, but Tyson's really, really good, but really, really big as well. So, good big and beats a good little one.
What do you think Tyson's options are other than Usyk? You look at a Joe Joyce fight who's going in against Zhang in a week's time. All the names that are sort of flying about now. Do you just believe? And I know you obviously. You're in there anyway, and he's your first cousin. But is he just too good for everyone in your opinion? Or better question, who would be his toughest test?
Who would be his toughest test? He's already beat his toughest test, and that was Wilder. I believe put Wilder in with any of the rest, and Wilder cleans them out. Other than Wilder, I would possibly say. See, it's hard to say Usyk because Usyk had a hard fight with Chisora. You know, because he was just a big, strong man. True. You know, and look what Tyson done to Chisora on 3 occasions. So,
what do you make of Joe Joyce?
Very good, but I say very good. I don't know. I can't make up my mind. I always used to think he was a walking disaster. He's waiting to get his head blown off. But he's proved me wrong every time since. So. I think he's like Terminator, isn't he? He just keeps walking forward. Be a good fight against. Is it Zhang or Zhang?
Yeah, that will be a good fight.
But I think he wins that. But everyone can get knocked out. Joe Joyce is not superhuman. He will get knocked out, and I think the man to do it will be Wilder.
I tell you what, Wilder and Joyce for me in the heavyweights is the one to make. The one hitter quitter versus that unstoppable force coming forward. Well, look, Jose, you've got a big year ahead, and obviously if you get past Ellis Zorro, you've got some huge fights coming up. We appreciate you talking to Boxing Social. Hopefully we'll be there on Fight Night and we'll catch up and we'll see what happens.
Okay, thank you.